Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I'm Squidzeyy, and in today's video we're going to be going over the big question of do I recommend getting a Switch 2? So I've been using it daily for just under a month now. It's nearly been a month already for the Switch 2. Wow, it's gone fast to be honest. So we're going to unpack everything I like and don't like about the Switch 2 before I give my final thoughts what I get the Switch 2 at the moment. So let's get into it. So first, why I got the Switch 2, I've gone over this a couple of times. The main reason is I just wanted to get into handheld gaming, so I looked and researched many different handhelds, and also, I've never really been into Nintendo games, but they just appealed to me suddenly. For some reason, I just had an epiphany. I was like, yeah, I want to play some Mario Kart, some Splatoon. I played them a bit before, because I used to have a Switch one, but didn't really use it, but as I've gotten older, I just didn't have as much time to game, so a handheld would really be beneficial to just be able to play when traveling. I was considering getting a new Switch one, but I was like, the Switch 2's coming out soon. I will be able to play the new games, and it's not too much more, it's about £100 more. And to get that new gen experience is probably worth it. So that's what made me get the Switch 2. So I don't really like the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. I've quite big hands, and they're not really that good. To be fair, the Switch 2 Joy-Cons are a big improvement, but I still prefer using a controller. So from the start, the Switch 2 kind of ticked every box, getting a new Mario Kart, more third-party games coming to the Switch 2 like Cyberpunk, and Elden Ring and Star Wars Outlaws have been announced. Maybe just been leaks, I think, with Star Wars Outlaws, but I don't know, Elden Ring's been announced, so I loved every second of it for the first week. Played a lot of Mario Kart, Splatoon, Cyberpunk, really enjoyed that. I'm lucky I did buy the extra storage at the start. From like 4 games, so like Witcher 3, Cyberpunk, Mario Kart World, I was already down to like half storage already. So it was really good that I bought the extra storage. I know you could buy the cartridges, but to be honest, I couldn't really order them online because they were like sold out, which was surprising to be fair. But Nintendo sold really well for the Switch 2. Fastest selling console of all time. Over 3 million units. That's really good, but we'll get into that later. And some other cons. Some other negatives of the Switch 2 is that the battery is worse than the original Switch. I understand it is more powerful, but you would like a bit more battery, if not the same as the original Switch. You always want an improvement in like all aspects when you get a new generation, and to see a decline. I know the Steam Deck isn't that good for battery, but I don't know, I just hope this Switch 2 would be better. And there were still some third-party games I wish would come with the Switch 2. There might be some later down the line. But we'll see if any games get announced. And also prices of the games and accessories increased. That was a joke, to be honest. Mario Kart World's so expensive. Basically forcing you to get the bundle. If you weren't considering getting the bundle, that price basically made to get the bundle. Unless you just don't like Mario Kart World. And also accessories really shot up in price. Pro controller, Joy-Con prices all up from the original Switch, which I guess isn't surprising, it is Nintendo. But it's still not good to see. Gaming's definitely getting more expensive. Microsoft have followed Nintendo with raising prices. PlayStation are probably next. But we'll just see how gaming goes. There was also a lot of Switch 2 features I did like that weren't like game related, especially the eShop. I love the eShop changes now. It recommends games every Saturday. It refreshes, so it gives you game recommendations. You can scroll through if there's a game you didn't know was on the Switch 2. Which a lot of these I didn't actually know were on Switch 2. Like it would recommend you a game and I'm like, oh, this is on Switch 2. But I find that's really cool, and they actually have an algorithm with the eShop now, instead of it just being everything just on the page. You can actually use the eShop now. I hated it on the Switch one, and I barely used it, so I don't know how everyone who used the Switch daily lived. But I'm really happy about that. Voice chat, it does the job. I'm not going to use it, but I have tested it and it works. So yeah, there's that. I can't fault Nintendo. They're finally catching up to Xbox and PlayStation. However, those two are going to Discord now, so you can use Discord on PlayStation and Xbox. And I would love for that to be on Switch, because I literally talk to my friends all the time on Discord, so it's kind of annoying to switch it up. But yeah, hopefully eventually Discord will be on the Switch too, but I doubt it will be. Mouse mode feels really nice and responsive. Actually feels like you're using a mouse. And the fact that you can use it on your lap and it still works really well. I just wish there was more games that supported it. I know Cyberpunk does. And I don't know if it's any other games that launch it too. But Dragon Drive's coming out in August. I don't know if I'm going to get it. I probably will. But that game is going to use it. I don't know why that game didn't come out at launch. That should have been a packing game if I was to be honest. It's showing the main gimmick with the Switch 2. Should be like the Wii Sports of the Switch 2. But I guess it's not. And then also, games also feel really nice. They look amazing on an LCD as well, which is surprising. I know the Switch 1 had an OLED version, and a lot of people were hoping that the Switch 2 would have an OLED, but for an LCD it does the job, and I'm not complaining, it still looks really good. It's just with like the really dark colours you'll notice. But also something I really love is the Pro Controller. It's honestly one of the best controllers I've ever felt. It's just the triggers on it that let it down a bit. I like responsive triggers, not like buttons as triggers. I would actually consider using it instead of my Xbox controller for my PC, but I just don't like the triggers. I can't do that. The side buttons work really well on the system to do it as game dependent and also user dependent, which is really cool. Sign them for the game, and then you don't have to sign it again, and it's really cool. So yeah, I do really like that. And this is coming from someone who used an Xbox Elite controller, so I'm used to the paddles. Features I would like to see come to the Switch 2 is a messaging system. They have a chat system, but no messaging system. I feel like you kind of need both. If you're gonna have one, it doesn't really work. I would actually prefer messaging, so like message my friend, oh, do you want to play some Splatoon? Because you can't really, unless you just call them, you can't be like, oh, do you want to hop on a call? But I don't know, I just wish there's a messaging system. I feel like that would be really good. And to be honest, there isn't many features I want to see come to the Switch 2. There's mainly games I want to see come to the Switch 2. But I would also like to see more games come to Game Share, like I mentioned before. I just feel like Game Share could be really well done if they add more games to it and support it. Also saving you a lot of money, only having to buy one version of the game instead of multiple for your friends or family members. Speaking of games, I can't wait for Donkey Kong. It's so close to Donkey Kong. We're literally in July now, basically. One more day. And then it's Donkey Kong month. I honestly can't wait to play Donkey Kong. I might not be going outside when that game comes out, just playing Donkey Kong. It looks amazing. The direct was really good for it. A new Splatoon game was announced and I'm really excited for that. I want to know more information about that. But at the moment, I'm kind of a bit gone off Mario Kart Worlds. Haven't really been touching it that much. I've been playing Breath of the Wild. The Switch 2 version is a really good improvement. I like how it was included with the online expansion. Also, I would love for more third-party games to come to the Switch 2. A dream port of mine would be Red Dead 2. I had like rumours of it coming to the Switch 2, and I feel like they could do it if other games on the Switch 2, like Cyberpunk. Red Dead is one of my favourite games, so being able to see it on the Switch 2 would be a dream. Playing that handheld, I don't know how it would run from the Steam Deck, but being able to play that on the Switch would be really cool. So hopefully that my prayers get answered. But then the biggest negative of the Switch 2 is just the price. I feel like the price of the console itself is expensive still, but compared to other handhelds and consoles, probably getting what you pay for. So I'd say value-wise, you're getting a handheld and a console. So I feel like that works out. And there's also bangers on the Switch 2, like Mario Kart World and a lot of other Mario games, obviously. You can't play those games on any other platform, so you kind of have to get the Switch to play them. But the game prices and accessories don't sit right with me. That's when Nintendo kind of lost a lot of support. And I feel like, I know the Switch is phenomenal at launch, but I feel like the game prices are going to hinder sales later down the line. Let's say you're like a father getting a present for your kid, and you see the prices of games, are you going to get them a Switch 2, or will you get them, I don't know, something else? Maybe a Switch 1, I guess Nintendo would still take that, but I feel like that could still hinder them. I might see, oh, Mario Kart World's £80. Why am I getting this? I'm outraged. I'm dipping. I'm outraged. Why am I going to spend this much money on just one game? Back in my day, I would have got 10 games. Nah, I'm joking, but also the button on the controller that requires online. I get a lot of people don't like that, and having a button you have to pay for does kind of suck, but you're only going to use it if you use online, and the button does work quite well. I would only recommend to buy Switch 2 right now if you love Nintendo games and Mario Kart World. Otherwise, I would probably hold out until more games come out, or more games are announced, so you can see, oh, if there's a game you really want to get, you could get a Switch 2 early before that game comes out. But hopefully Nintendo does announce some games soon. I would love to see some more games get announced, keep the hype up. But to be honest, I would give the Switch 2 a 4 out of 5. Everything feels amazing. I haven't really had any problems with my Switch 2. And the games that are on the platform are really good. But I still feel like it's lacking games, and that's where it's letting it down. And probably the biggest negative for the Switch 2 is that, for me, Mario Kart World is not worth £80. But I am really enjoying the Switch 2. And I would recommend it, hopefully more in the future. So thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Thank you.